Live look in New York City this morning, where for the first time in U.S. history, a former president is preparing to turn himself in and face criminal charges. Of course, talking about former President Donald Trump.
So he will arrive at a Manhattan courthouse where he will appear before a judge.
Donald Trump left his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida yesterday and then took a private plane to New York, spending the night at Trump Tower. And this morning, that indictment is still under seal.
And here's what we do know right now. We know the Manhattan grand jury that indicted Trump spent weeks investigating money paid to two women during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Those women allege they had a sexual encounter with the former president, allegations that Trump denies. While the so-called hush money accusation isn't in itself illegal, here's where the law does come in. So apparently Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid off one of the women through a shell company he set up. He was then reimbursed by Trump, whose company logged those reimbursements as a legal expense.
Okay, so Trump now facing multiple charges of falsifying business records, including at least one felony offense. Now, under the law, prosecutors must now prove that there was an intent to defraud.
So Trump's lawyers describe him as a victim of extortion. His political opponents are asking him to step aside.
We'll be pleading very loudly not guilty before the judge, and then we'll go from there.
Public official under criminal charges ought to step aside for the good of the public and the office that you seek.
All right, so bringing in reporter Madeline Rivera now, joining us live in New York this morning here. Madeline, talk about the situation. I mean, it has really gotten busy behind you. I mean, we visited you about once an hour. What is happening there now?
It really has picked up over the last hour, Liz. So I just want to give you a look at the scene behind me. You can see over here, or perhaps not anymore because there's a group of onlookers over here. But police have set up metal barricades blocking access, car traffic to the street behind us, because 1 block away is One Hogan Place, where former President Trump is expected to appear for his court arraignment later on this morning. Police are also trying to block pedestrian traffic from passing through the courthouse. So reporters who are set up just down the street are essentially penned in. But these are the security measures that police are taking in advance of former President Trump's arraignment later on today. We have not seen any movements yet from former President Trump, who is staying at Trump Tower. That's where he stayed overnight. Again, we expect him to make his way down here to Lower Manhattan for that historic court arraignment that could happen later on today. That is expected to happen later on today, rather.
So President Trump, former President Trump will show up there. He will be processed. He will be booked. He will be fingerprinted, and the indictment could be unsealed at any time, at which time we will find out the charges that he's actually facing here. What are we expecting to learn from this?
Well, sources tell Fox that former President Trump is facing some 30 counts of criminal charges. We don't know what those charges are. Again, I know different organizations have been reporting different things, but that's what we can tell you right now. Again, this is all speculation, though, Bill, until, of course, that indictment is sealed. We are hoping to hear more later on today. The thing is, though, Bill, things here could be delayed. There was a lot of pressure from media organizations to have this arraignment be broadcast live so that people will know exactly what happened here in real time. There's a push for transparency here, but the Judge Juan Merchan, last night ruled that live cameras, TV cameras, won't be able to broadcast the arraignment as it's happening. He did allow for still photos to be taken, so 5 photographers will be taking photos of Mr. Trump before the arraignment actually takes place. But look, there is going to be a delay if we don't have a camera there in the courtroom. So unfortunately, we won't be able to find out until, it's an estimate as to how long it's going to take before all of these charges are released, and whether until our reporters can actually get out of the courthouse. Because another thing here, too, our court producer is telling us, our court producer who will be inside the courtroom when this takes place, he says that he won't be able to leave the courthouse until former President Trump's team, former President Trump and his team, leave the building, again, out of security reasons. So, you've got to take in all those steps before we actually learn what the charges are, at least from our producers, corporate producers, who will be watching this unfold. Bill and Liz.
Madeline Rivera live in New York for us. Thank you. We'll check back with you. Meantime, let's check in with